this on. And we are live, guys. So, welcome to the Part-Time Podcast. We're doing a movie review for Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which we all saw.
Spoilers ahead, so
yes.
turn off if you don't want to hear them.
Yeah. Well, I think what we'll do is for the first couple minutes here, we'll just talk about what we thought of the movie in general, and then we'll call spoiler alert after that. So, go ahead and introduce everybody. I'm Matthew Ice, Sand Golem.
Relic.
Steve Frederickson.
Sebben.
Yep. And so we all went and saw the movie last night. Of course, McNasty hasn't had a chance to see it yet, so my good buddy Sebben is subbing in for him.
We are, of course, talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what'd you guys think?
I liked the soundtrack in this one better than I did the first one. The movie as a whole was excellent, I thought.
Oh, man. Amazing.
I would disagree on the soundtrack thing, though.
I don't know. They're both fantastic soundtracks. They really nailed it.
I think number one was better, though, clearly.
I thoroughly enjoyed the soundtrack from the first one better, but mainly just because I think they overplayed the song Brandy in this one. It was like every fourth scene, they're re-looping like
True.
one set of the Brandy song.
But Brandy's an important song.
Well,
it was Ego and her song.
It was, but I'm just saying that.
And he related Brandy to how they are and everything. So, I mean, I can see it.
Looking Glass is a great band.
Yes,
that's a great song. It's
yeah.
classic. I liked how they opened up with ELO, so, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But, so before we get into spoilers, everybody's pretty much the consensus, at least as good as the first movie. Worth your money to go see in the theater.
Oh, absolutely worth
Totally
it.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't walk, run.
Yeah. So from this point on, we're going to be entering spoiler territory. So let's start off. What do you guys think of that opening scene?
That's great.
Golden.
Baby Groot.
I loved it. A lot different than what I pictured, and I love that they integrated it into the opening credits.
Yeah.
So like all that fighting's going on in the background while Groot's just running around.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Drax. And then, of course, Gamora ends up killing it with a sword. She thought she was going to do it with a gun, but it turns out
Yeah.
he needs a sword.
Let's all be fair here. Drax single-handedly killed them.
Yeah, let's be honest. I mean, he was
in his
doing.
own mind, he's the greatest hero.
Yeah.
Let's see. He got covered in the animal's blood, so I mean, clearly he was doing some damage.
Yeah.
He just wasn't going to cut his way out of it. He was just doing massive internal damage. That's all I'm saying.
So you ever been eating a Dorito and you don't get one corner chewed quite much and it gets stuck in your throat?
Yeah.
That was Drax.
That was Drax. He's bringing that guy down.
It was the cuts on your roof of your mouth after capping from.
Yeah. There you go.
So, let's see. What anybody got any other favorite scenes?
My favorite line is, "I'm Mary Poppins, y'all." I love
Mary
that.
Poppins, y'all.
Love it.
Yeah. Yondu went out like a bamf. What'd you guys think of Stallone?
Stallone's the man in anything
He
does,
really is.
personally.
That is fantastic.
I thought
I'd
he
like to see more from. I don't know what that guy is. He's like Crystal or Ice.
Oh, it's Martin X.
Martin X. I think he's from Pluto or something like
I
that.
believe so. He's the Guardians of the Future, although
Yeah.
he made it present day now.
Yeah.
He controls ice and fire.
Oh, okay.
And he's a crystalline being.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
anybody hasn't figured this out yet in this podcast, I hardly know anything about comic books.
Sorry, that's all we're here for.
I'm the outside source of
Yeah.
the normal person seeing the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a Marvel guy. The most I know about Marvel Universe is little tidbits I picked up from the cinematic universe.
Yeah. So and you guys have seen most of the Marvel movies, or at least a whole bunch of them. So opinions are valid, and you're part of a crew.
This is a solid addition to the Marvel universe. It's
Oh yeah.
insanely good.
Oh yeah.
So, anyone else catch the Hulk cameo?
I did not.
Is that when they were jumping around?
It was when Yondu and Rocket hit their warp drive or whatever,
Right.
and then Rocket made it go too fast, and they were warping through everything.
Oh, those 700 jumps?
Yeah. They fly through the Planet Hulk area, and you see Hulk just for like a split second in his armor about to off some purple dude on the desert.
There was. I
I've
saw
seen a big guy, but I couldn't tell who.
Yeah. It went by so fast. I tried to pay attention.
My
but
speculation is that it's a Hulk cameo because it's a
Could
giant
be.
green guy in armor that you see in the Thor trailer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then he fighting some guy to death in a desert, which is also important.
Yeah. Of course, did you guys see the Jeff Goldblum cameo at the very end of the movie when everybody's dancing in the little bubbles? Yeah.
Also, the Hoff.
The Hoff, exactly.
The Hoff, yeah.
Nice they could work that in.
Yeah, I thought that was great. I always appreciate when that guy can get work.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
So,
what's
you put him in a movie.
What's strange is I watched yesterday. The first Guardian was on FX, so I was watching a little bit of it. It's kind of a different movie after you see part 2. Yeah. Because you know more of the backstory now. You know that Yondu's not a douche. Well, he's a douche, but he's a douche with a heart of gold apparently. But I mean, there's a lot of different things that it's really fleshed out. So.
Yeah.
I like that they upped his mohawk, his fin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he gave him a full one.
It's only for him to last like another 45 minutes in the film.
Yeah, so cool.
That scene where it's just raining bodies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Taserface.
Yeah. Taserface.
Just tell him that Taserface was his downfall. Can snort. That's his name. It's just like, that guy died and he was like, mother. So it was pretty good. I think I gained a new respect for Rocket as a fighter.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was like, ha, you don't have your toys now.
Murked the hell out of everybody.
Yeah. And of course Kurt Russell is the gold as ever.
Yeah, he
Good
was
villain.
really good at this. I hope that he ends up coming back somehow.
Yeah, we did see Ego the Living Planet too. So that's good.
Yeah, we got to actually see the planet.
As a being.
Yeah, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I nerded out for a minute there. It was pretty slick.
Howard the Duck did make a triumphant return.
Yeah.
If only for 4 seconds to hit on a chick in a space
What
bar.
was his line? It was if you before you go duck, or if you don't go duck, you're out of luck. Something like that.
Yeah.
You're drinking a space martini.
Yeah.
hitting
Something
on some
typically
string.
Howard.
Yeah. See, I told you it wasn't part of the collector's collection.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
No.
Yeah,
But
he's
Adam
changed.
Warlock's, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Well, his cocoon looked way different than the one that was in there. I think that's just a general. I think that's the old style cocoon,
Really?
and that she created that new style that he's in, because you see it's all gold and covered with the tubes and stuff.
Well, she did say she designed an entire new way.
Yeah, so a new birthing pod.
Yeah. I don't know. After the collector's collection got destroyed in the last one, then maybe she just got it from him and altered it.
My first casting right now is the guy that played Gannicus in Spartacus should be Adam Warlock.
Yeah.
But
Well,
my point
well-
is that
Badass.
in the previous episode, I already predicted all these things, so
Yeah.
That's right.
I win.
Well,
Now, if anybody could shed some light, like who is Adam Warlock? Like, what does he normally look like in the?
he's one of those gold skinned
Yeah, he's-
people.
Genetically perfect man.
Yeah, and in the comic books, I
So
remember.
Channing Tatum.
Basically.
Yeah. There you go.
Gambit.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be Gambit in the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
Well, you know.
unless that movie got shit canned for the 100th time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes back and forth.
So Adam Warlock was kind of one of the masterminds. Him and Doctor Strange were kind of the generals of leading everybody into combat against Thanos.
He's
and
the
so,
anti-Thanos.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're
But he's not going to be in Infinity War, so
unless
Could be.
he shows up in Ragnarok.
yeah, I doubt
Or he
it.
could show up at the end of
Yeah, they could
Infinity
do
Wars
it.
Part 1 and be in Part 2.
Yeah, that's true
Or
because
Spider-Man.
Thanos is yet to gather any of the gems yet. So part 1 could just be him murking
Yeah.
people and getting
Yeah.
gems, like bust through the Nova Corps, just like that's
Vision's in for a
mine.
bad day.
And then Vision's gonna get his head torn off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and then Doctor Strange is gonna get manhandled and it's gonna get ripped out of. Is it in his cloak now, or? Is it
no, it's actually still.
necklace, isn't it?
Yeah,
It was, but at the end of the movie, he put it back in the reliquary, so it's sitting on a stand in his house. So Thanos could just bust in, grab it, and be like, "Deuces."
Yeah. Peace, y'all.
Have we got all 5 of them yet in the movies?
I don't think we've seen
There's Tesseract,
the Tesseract Cube.
the red one from Thor.
The Ether.
Yeah,
The Ether.
and then we've got
Vision Stones,
which is the Soul Stone.
Doctor Strange's, and then that purple one that
So so we do got all 5.
We do have 5.
Let's see. No, there's 6. There's 6. There's one in the center.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think we've gotten that one yet.
I'll have to rewatch Thanos' whole cameo at the end where he's like, I'll just have to do it myself, just to see if it's actually in his gauntlet. Already.
It's not. I rewatched that scene. It's an empty gauntlet, but we don't know what's gonna happen. Thor Ragnarok could show up. Oh, that's where the speculation came. Heimdall supposedly might have the other gem, the last gem, because if you look at Peter Quill's eyes when he was holding the purple gem, his eyes went purple, and Ronan's eyes went purple, and in the other movies, whenever someone's holding an Infinity Gem, generally their eyes turn the same color as the gem they're holding, and the last gem is that orange gem, and Heimdall's eyes are orange.
But Heimdall's eyes are also like the eyes of a goat. Like they're shaped different than normal eyes.
Right, but he also says a line, which was kind of a throwaway line where Thor was asking him if he could see Jane Foster, and he said that he could see all the souls. So I guess Vision's gem would be the mind gem or whatever, but all the souls in the 9 realms or 7 realms or whatever many realms there are. And then Thor's vision during Civil War, he saw blind Heimdall. That was warning him of the coming Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So it could be that Heimdall's normally blind, and the only reason he has vision in this universe is that he has the soul gem.
Well, Heimdall looked like he was fucking shit up in the Ragnarok trailer.
Well,
he was cutting some mofos down with that sword.
Yeah. So, and then all of a sudden, you've got the Norse goddess of death, and the most metal soundtrack of all time.
Let's hope she doesn't die.
We're getting out of topic here, but.
Well, didn't you say before that Thanos is in love with the goddess of death?
Yeah, and there's been some people that theorize that she's going to be the stand-in for death.
Yeah, in the comics, he's in love with death herself.
Yeah, like there's a physical manifestation of death, and this girl is separate than that. But in this cinematic universe, they might just merge them into the same character.
I was to say that would be a perfect opening if Heimdall is actually holding the stone and he appears in the Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
She appears in the Ragnarok. It would be a perfect intro for Thanos to enter at the end of it to take the stone.
Yeah,
I sure hope so.
Especially if she gives it to him.
The more Thanos,
the better. Yeah.
Yeah. Because all we've seen of him is like that one little tidbit.
Two tidbits.
Yeah.
Like maybe a whole 2 minutes of airtime.
Yeah, not even that.
Shocking
not even.
See him in Guardians.
Yeah.
I swore we'd see him in Guardians.
Heimdall.
No.
I guess you're right. I forgot in Guardians 1 he had a lot of.
He did have something.
Little tidbits, where he's on a view screen or whatever.
Roman boy.
Yeah, boy.
Hey, boy.
Hey, boy. But I was really sad to see Yondu go, but he went out like a badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I like how his last words to Peter were, I was like, he may have been your father, but he sure weren't your daddy.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. Felt sorry for Groot being picked on in that cage.
Yeah. Well, he did go murder spree.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite scene is where he shows up with a toe, and then they're all just sitting there like, do you have a freezer full of, toes? He's like, nope. He's shaking his head. He's like, okay, well, we're just not ever going to mention this ever again.
Yeah.
And then when they were taking over the ship, he just, separately went up a different ladder and just drug a guy to his death.
The guy that covered him in beer.
Yeah. It was like, you're going to kick her.
Yeah. Don't mess with Groot. He's a murderous little tree.
Now he's all into punk rock as his teenager in his tree full of leaves.
That was one of the best scenes.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, clean your room. There's vines everywhere."
I am Groot.
I am Groot.
Angsty teen.
Yeah, that was the best.
Oh,
that was the best. He's like, now I know how Yondu felt.
What about Stan Lee's cameos?
Yes.
Yeah. Except for he's not a Watcher. He was just talking to the Watchers. And apparently his character is now stranded in space.
Is Cosmo the space dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosmo taking
Which I don't know anything about Cosmo, even though I'm a big Marvel guy. I'm not aware of anything.
Old, right?
Yeah,
like
he's
from the 50s, 60s.
he's been in a lot of the Rocket Raccoon solo stuff, where he's on that planet nowhere that he's from. You know, he's kind of like the guardian of it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
That's basically where he's from.
Wasn't he part of the collector's
Collection,
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was.
With the Husk and Howard the Duck and a lot of other things that just got Easter egged in there from the Marvel universe.
Okay. Yeah. But
props to James Gunn for knocking it out of the park again. Man.
Yeah, and
a good blend of funny and action and and everything else.
And I think that it's a testament to having the guy that's directing it also be the head writer on it.
Yeah, and loving what he's the subject.
Oh, and having a passion for it.
I mean,
clearly that shines through. Whereas DC, you can tell they write those movies by committee. Yeah. Basically, it's a whole group of
suits. I do have hope for Wonder Woman, though. That trailer was pretty awesome.
I have more hope for Batgirl.
Yeah, they are making...
Really? Mostly because Joss Whedon is coming.
Well, yeah, Joss Whedon is making the Sirens, right? No, that's the guy that directed the Suicide Squad that's doing Sirens.
No,
well, I mean, that's like the stereotypical DC thing, isn't it? You put all your best parts of the entire movie in the trailer to hype people up, and then you let them down terribly once they go and pay money for it.
Yeah. That's
been the
modern DC for you.
But they're making money doing it. Yeah. I mean, Batman v Superman.
Falling for it.
Yeah, Batman v Superman made almost $1 billion.
Bait and switch is their whole thing.
Yeah.
It'd be great at college parties with
and I'll keep falling for it because I love comic book movies.
Yeah.
So By the way, James, how about that Kingsman 2 trailer?
Well,
we are. This is a Guardians.
I know.
Review.
Yeah. We're getting into too much.
I'm just saying.
We'll have a separate video for trailer reactions. So, but yeah, so ultimately, great movie. I'm excited for both the Infinity Wars and the Guardians 3.
Oh,
if there's you guys want to help me out, I want to do like a rundown of the basic plot for the listeners, so if they are on the edge of wanting to go see it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah.
How that could be, but
we can definitely do that. So let's see.
Opening scene, we got Peter Quill's mom and Ego
in Missouri,
and they're driving and going to a forest where Ego is going to be planning a plan, and then it snaps to the future.
Yep, and it's them fighting that
giant slug
tentacle
thing
monster.
that looked like it was from the movie Monster Trucks. You guys haven't seen that? It's a kid's movie. It's terrible, but it looks like one of those things that run the motors. Fast forward a little bit more after they kill that, we got them collecting batteries.
Yes, Rocket steals batteries.
Rocket steals batteries is a major plot point for something so stupid. And they go to Aisha?
Aisha.
I think Aisha.
Yeah, the High Priestess.
Yeah.
The High Priestess.
Yeah.
And they turn over everything except for the stuff that they've stolen for some sort of bounty, which is Nebula.
Yep.
As a prisoner. And then they leave from there.
And then they get chased into an asteroid field by the Sovereign because Rocket stole those batteries. It's going to keep coming up.
Because he can't help himself.
That's right. Rocket claims that it was Drax. Okay.
Yeah.
But they get shot down, or they basically hit, take a lot of battle damage, run through a meteor field, and then, Ego shows up, destroys the enemy fleets, and then they crash land on a planet, and he lands next to him, and they meet him.
In a Mork from Ork egg chip.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the whole cameo thing I was reading on IGN is that since he was there on Earth during the 80s when the show was running.
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
Peter Quill would recognize as an Ork chip.
Yeah.
Making him a little more trusting of the father figure.
Yeah. But then...
Drax, during the crash landing, was a beautiful anchor.
Yes, he was.
Yes.
Bouncing off of trees.
And by the way, you can't overstate how great Dave Bautista is. his Drax just gets better
Yeah.
and better. He's so good.
Yeah, and the hideous
Mantis
the hideous mantis is just horrifyingly ugly.
on the inside.
Yeah.
His whole scene where he's like, I'm just imagining being with you physically and he's trying not to throw up was hilarious to me.
Yeah.
But so they crash their ship, it breaks in half, and they take Nebula and put her in the
They leave Nebula with Groot and Rocket.
yeah, but they put her in the brig, and then because she's all handcuffed and locked up, and Groot has to let her go. But Rocket sets some traps for Yondu and his men, and goes full ham, total hoss, and just beats the hell out of everybody with nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Yondu wants to just sell the batteries that they stole instead of turning them in. And Taserface, which is this random minion inside the thing.
Freddy Krueger's nutsack.
Yeah.
He has that sweet grill.
He does.
Yeah.
He does.
And so he stages a mutiny, and they kill a bunch of the good Ravagers, and the way they were able to get the drop on Yondu is Nebula showed up
and shot the fin off his head.
Yeah.
Which controlled his arrow and apparently part of his brain because of the circuit board, not so much his flesh.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's cybernetically repaired from some injury or something or other, but yeah, and then they basically end up on the ship
and heading to Ego.
Heading to Ego. And they have that scene that you see in the trailers where she's like, "You feel love, for her," and Drax is hilarious.
Yeah,
do me.
Mantis is a rather key character that they didn't use much of, but she is a key point in the movie where she puts Ego to sleep with her empath abilities and everything like that.
Yeah.
So they get to Ego, and Ego explains to Peter that he's his father and he has this weird museum. I don't know if it's just a mind illusion that he's producing as a planet or not, because later, whenever they find out about Ego and his master plan of taking over the universe, they see the
I think it's just
mountains of his dead children.
Excuse me. I'll edit that out. Sorry.
It's not really mountains per se as like caches of skulls.
They were like sand dunes, I'll say, of just corpses of the various women and that he'd been with children that had failed him and had collected the celestial
He'd been
gene.
okay if he wouldn't have mentioned the cancer.
If he had not mentioned the brain tumor, Peter Quill would have been on board, and they would have been ruling the universe right now.
My favorite thing, I think, from Peter in that entire movie was his entire Vegeta rage moment. He was like, "You shouldn't have killed my mom and broke my Walkman," and then he just goes fucking boss and beats him.
I like when he brought the guns out.
Yeah.
When he's like, and I had to put that tumor in his brain. He's like, "Wait, what?" It just explodes his fucking face.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ego turns out to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
He's trying to take over the world. Well, the universe, not just the world.
Yeah.
Which had some ramifications on Earth with the plants he planted at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, but those plants were like
all over the universe.
Were like planet sperm or whatever, and they were
trying to take over
Had
the
this
planet,
goo,
trying to
this
terraform
blue
it to
goo.
his idea.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, real quick, I would like to let any of the listeners know that we people from Missouri do not all talk with the same Southern accent that Peter Quill's mom did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we do
Yeah.
all like to hang out at Dairy Queen.
Exactly.
He was
Of all
very
places.
Yeah, they had to
They
destroy
couldn't
the Dairy
kill
Queen.
the Hardys or something. They killed Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
So-
No, he
Carl's
had
Jr. or something.
Yeah.
Hardy's is already killing itself. It doesn't need help.
Yeah. Not Dairy Queen.
Alright, so it starts taking over the planet. I imagine that's going to have some ramifications in one of the upcoming films.
Yeah. But, meanwhile, Groot and all them and Yondu end up overthrowing the mutineers, killing all of them in the most metal scene.
Taking control of their pod and then hitting some sort of ridiculous warp drive where they pass over Planet Hulk on their way to Ego. They show up on Ego and proceed to enter the final fight scene with everyone else against Ego.
Yep.
Where Yondu ends up going out like a boss because he only has rocket, spacesuit, and oxygen, and he gives it to Peter.
Yep. Which
I do have a question about that scene.
Yep.
Prior in the movie, whenever Ego first shows up, they claim that he destroyed their entire fleet.
Yeah,
and then a whole nother fleet from the same planet shows up. So how fast can they reproduce these?
Well, they're a perfect race.
Race, and they weren't actual people in the ships.
I know they were pilot. They were remote controls.
Yeah, they were like RC.
They probably just had a factory crap out a bunch more. Of course, she was in a lot of trouble at the end of that movie.
For the funds she spent.
Yeah, because she basically
bankrupted her entire people.
Yeah.
To try and take out the Guardians, and got shipwrecked by some mining lasers and Ego.
That mining ship was awesome.
The mining ship was great, and I just think that it was awesome effects the way they had each pod be able to move separately on its own and fire a different laser. It was great.
But what were those little things that Rocket used that looked just like the little mining
I don't know.
on the ship?
Just
and then he threw out and then played pinball for a minute?
Yeah, it's just a rocket gadget, man. That guy's like Batman.
He is.
Except for he doesn't need prep time. He can just do it on the fly.
Yeah.
And he's furry.
You know, like Mantis said, he's so fluffy, I want to die.
He's too adorable to kill.
the grumpy dog is grumpy
puppy.
puppy is so cute. I want to die. Mantis was adorable. I love that character.
In the comics, she's also a
martial artist. Space
judoist.
Yeah,
so maybe she'll pick that up for Guardians 3.
Yeah.
Or for Infinity War.
Yeah.
Whichever comes first.
I wonder if the team that we've kind of fallen in love with aren't going to basically die in the third one.
I hope not.
Well, I told you in the last episode what I heard after the first Guardians movie and the first talks of Infinity War was that Gamora and Drax are supposed to be like the first two to die and off the team in general, and that it was gonna happen in Infinity War.
Which is weird because they're not really up there on the pay scale, and I feel like we'd be seeing a lot of the people up there on the pay scale being the ones dying.
Well, they're the big names that are drawing people in.
Yeah.
Now, given if Drax had a standalone of like his origin story, I can't say I wouldn't go see it.
Yeah.
Oh,
especially
Marvel or DC on don't.
Yeah. Yeah, basically.
I'm sure if Joss Whedon was still in charge of doing the Avengers, everybody would die, and like everything else, he'd just be like left with the side cast trying to run the show. Then it'd get canceled by Fox. So.
Yeah.
Anybody get their arm cut off? That usually seems to be a thing in Marvel movies. I don't remember anybody getting an arm ripped off in this one.
Guy lost a toe and
did lose a toe.
Groot stole an eye.
And Nebula, she was missing her hand. She got it from a box of hands.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's usually some sort of limb that goes.
Yeah. Nobody lost the limb.
Yeah.
Well, technically,
his life.
Ego lost his body.
Yeah. And his brain.
But no limbs.
Yeah.
Batista got stabbed in the neck with an arrow.
That's right.
That was the best scene.
Right.
That was the best scene at the end.
Yeah.
But man, it was cool to see the Ravager funeral and everything, cool. And to see the old school Guardians of the Galaxy, which were originally from the far future, show up in modern times. Which is Ving Rhames as Charlie 27. He's got the bandolier on the end, and he's like, he normally carries around this giant gun that looks like what Gamora was using in her fight against Nebula.
Oh, the ship's cannon?
Yeah, that's what Charlie 27 just runs around with as his normal weapon. He's just like, ah ha ha.
And then there was Martin X.
And
Stallone was supposed to be Starhawk, which is what his take are. And there was Korgar, the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, but which was weird. But,
is he the one who threw up the thumbs up with the magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he in the comic books, he was Doctor Strange's position on the planet, but in the 31st century.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see how they're going to do
And
it.
then the little computer thing, that was mainframe.
Which is Vision from the 31st
Yeah.
century, but
To
it has
me-
Miley
To
Cyrus's
me, it looks
voice.
suspiciously like Ultron, but
Yeah.
so very Ultronish.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But yeah, I'd be interested because in the Guardians, spoiler, but in the Guardians comic books, Starhawk goes evil.
Yeah.
He goes straight evil.
Yeah.
Like, are we talking like evil for the greater good evil?
No, he gets
Or-
power hungry and he kills his
Kinda
wife
loses it.
and children. He eats them and merges their essence into him, and he becomes
It's light.
this light being that just flies around and is
Pretty powerful.
very powerful, but total d-bag.
Yeah.
Because he killed his wife and kids.
That's still on the team.
Still on the team. They left him on the team,
Apparently,
though.
There's a gray area. You
Yeah,
can
gray
get in the
area.
Guardians.
You get a certain power level. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter who you murder.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So I mean,
keep your enemies close. Your friends
So
closer, your
he's-
enemies closer.
so he's a super powerful mercenary who kills his own people.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
apparently he hasn't reached the killing his own.
Yeah, he
people
hasn't
part
reached
yet.
that part yet. So,
So it
and
could
before he was a great
be. Yeah.
leader and fighter and everything. So.
They're hoping for some sort of redemption story, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The team, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see him use some kind of a large knife or a machete.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. He's all energy blasts.
Yeah.
So.
Stallone, I'm sure he's gonna rip somebody's throat out.
I'm sure he'll
Yeah,
box
absolutely.
somebody's
Handy.
face off.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, or he could do another Rambo scene, but this time in space, where he jumps up on like a space gunner jeep.
And
And-
turns the driver into applesauce.
Yeah.
Best scene out of the last
That was-
Rambo film.
that
Turn
was
that driver into
great.
applesauce. Like one bullet ripped the guy in half. 150 bullets turned the guy into a puddle, and he just emptied a box. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's what a real 50 cal does to a human being. It just
Turns
tears.
them into a puddle.
Yeah,
If you keep
So-
hitting them with it.
but didn't you say that just it hitting close enough to you?
It can do some damage.
Yeah.
Like if the concussion just from firing a 50 cal, we're getting super off topic, but it's okay.
Yeah.
The concussion, like out of the barrel, it shoots up the muzzle blast is enough to like tear up. I want to say like 20 inches of grass and mud and dirt just from around the barrel, and then when it hits down range, whatever it's hitting at almost supersonic speeds, so it gets ripped. It doesn't go through like a regular bullet and have it enter and exit. It goes through the size of your thumb, and it comes out the size of like a center block out the back.
Nice.
50
Nice.
cal is very,
America.
very unforgiving.
Yeah,
America.
we need to see Star-Lord use one of those.
Well, I mean, Iron Man and War Machine have them on their suits.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what
The
War
minigun.
Machine. Anyways, that's what the miniguns should be firing on his shoulders and stuff like that.
What was it? What was it? Hammer called that gun Uncle Gazpacho or something like that, or Puff the Magic Dragon. Yeah, that's what our boys in blue call it. So, but yeah, so great movie. I recommend you see it.
2 thumbs
Absolutely.
ups and 5 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time here on the Part Time Podcast. Be sure to visit us at parttimepodcast.com with 1 T, or follow us on Twitter at Real PT Podcast. And we'll see you guys later.